because I don't invest in banks and in other industries where there is no competitive advantage. And I think that the banks, all the banks, are providing the same service to all clients, corporates and retail clients. So if they are providing all the same service, they are competing on prices, on margins, and they cannot make superior profitability on the long term. And even more, they are regulated, and we have seen that regulation is changing today for banks, for Spanish banks. So this is very competitive, too competitive, regulated, and with some structural issues to solve, because new IT, new technology will force banks to reorganize, to reduce the huge back office they have. And also, due to technology and e-banking, they will have to reduce the network, to close branches, and to get rid of people. So competitive and structural changes ahead, regulated, make me avoid the banks for a long time, and still for the coming years. Because we invest in European companies, so companies that were born in Europe, that are headquartered in Europe, but companies that are global. Because the companies in which we invest have a competitive edge, a technology, a know-how, a brand, whatever, and they sell all over the world. So the company in which we are invested in, mid-caps, European mid-caps, do more than 50% of the sales outside Europe. So they are global companies. And investing in a global company allows you to mitigate the cycles. It means if European market is not so strong, then perhaps US will be stronger, or Asia, or whatever. So those companies are less sensitive to any continent, and they have higher growth prospects on the long term because they address the global market and not only a domestic or European market. They address the globe. The risk I see are always specific risks. So the first risk when you invest in equities is to invest in bad companies. This is the first risk. Then the second risk would be to invest only in cyclicals, or another year to only invest in growth stocks or in defensive stocks or whatever. Again, we do not want to take any macro bets. We mitigate those risks and we invest both in cyclicals and in non-cyclicals, in high growth companies or in mature companies. So the risk is to invest in bad companies, and that's our work, our specialty, to try to select good companies with strong fundamentals, with a competitive edge, and still good prospects ahead of them, and with a limited gearing, because in downturns, it is hard to forecast the downturns, but we want that if we are caught in a downturn, our companies will still have a strong balance sheet to cope with these recession times. So the health of companies is still good. We have some results are disappointing, but sometimes stock prices decline before the results are disappointing. You know, so they decline on a threat before having the news. But sometimes today. The big disappointment, let's say, or the big headwind that all companies, all European international companies are facing, cyclicals or non-cyclicals, is the forex, the foreign exchange. Because so far, until the end of this first half of the year, the dollar was a headwind. So now the dollar, compared to last year, it's at a similar level, so it will not be a headwind anymore. But nevertheless, you have plenty of other currencies that will remain a headwind versus the euro for our European companies, the Turkish lira, the currencies from Latin America, Argentina, for example, and some others. That will still be a headwind for the companies in which we invest in because they are very international. We are invested in some of European names involved in the car industry. For example, in Faurecia, that is manufacturing seats and the interior of the car. But predominantly in the car industry, we are invested through the tires manufacturers, such as Michelin, predominantly Michelin, and Pirelli also. But our big asset in the car industry is Michelin. And we believe that Michelin is more diversified because Michelin is addressing the car industries, the car market, the truck market, and also the agricultural market, the mining market, the aerospace, and various smaller markets such as motorcycles or specialty businesses. And also Michelin, even if the sales of new cars decline, nevertheless the cars are running, and so you have to replace your tires from time to time. So there is this huge replacement market that is the most profitable for Michelin. That makes Michelin will be more resilient than just a car manufacturer. Because it is just addressing the new cars. I didn't study this company, so I don't know the term in English. Emboutissage, it's just forming pieces, body pieces for the car, for the body in white. And this is a good company, well run, family business, what they have achieved is great. So the family and the managers have been very, very skillful, very good. But this is not the kind of business in which I invest because I believe that they don't have a strong competitive edge on a global basis, and this will not be a global company in the future. Again, it's specific. Our mission is to find value within cyclicals, is to find value within defensive companies. But today, the value, let's say, the most attractive stock prices would be more in the cyclical area because cyclicals have been hurt during the last few weeks. You mentioned the car industry, the capital goods, and so on. So some of them have been hurt, but nevertheless, if we are entering in a recession mode, they will suffer more losses because of the momentum. But today, these sectors have been hurt already, and that's where you could find more value better than in defensive areas. But nevertheless, we will not sell our defensive stocks to reinvest in cyclicals because, again, we want to preserve this balance between cyclical and non-cyclicals. In Spain, unfortunately, we do not own many holdings because on the Spanish stock market, you have a lot of financials. You have construction, you have real estate, you have utility companies, but you have very few industrial companies, healthcare companies, technology companies that became global players in this world. That's why we are structurally underweighted on the Spanish market.